Hey, everybody, coming to you live from Cherry Creek Lodge, excuse me, the ranch of Michael and Sharon Lechter. And I've got Sharon here with me. And I promised you guys and gals that I was going to be creating more content, more tips for what's happening between now and the end of the year. So I grabbed Sharon. She's about to have a big event here tonight. She's got the new Arizona Land Commissioner. Is that?
No, Game and Fish Commissioner.
Y'all, she's such a big deal. I mean, like the game warden's answer to her. All right. And the game, it's a really big deal. So we're going to have a bunch of ranchers here tonight. And what I want to talk about is assets, right? Like, Sharon is, and Sharon, you didn't see the description I wrote, but I wrote in the description that you are the queen of assets are sexy.
They are. Assets are sexy. And the older you get, the sexier they are.
Why?
Because, your outside appearance may suffer a little bit as you age. But when you have a wealth of assets protecting you and taking care of you.
You don't have Chanel sunglasses on. You cannot look bad in Chanel sunglasses. Just saying. Keep going.
That's true. That's true. But it's really important because you get your time back. And so as you get older, you get more time because your assets are working for you. And that's what makes them sexy, because you get your life back and you can choose to do whatever you want because your assets are working for you and generating generational wealth.
Okay. And so when I look at this ranch, and I'm going to, when we're done talking, I'm not going to do it now because we just got the camera right and the lighting and all that. But when I'm done talking, I'm going to show y'all this ranch. This is just one of your many assets, but this is one that I know you love so much. And so y'all, when I turn this around, like there's a lake in front of us, Lake Sharon, of course. What else would it be named? And 50,000 acres. 50,000 acres that surround us. I mean, you cannot make up this place. And it's absolutely incredible. Y'all have seen pictures before of me being up here, and my husband, he wanted to be up here this time, and due to some family obligations, he couldn't be here. So last night he was texting me like, how's my ranch? I'm like, in your dreams, dreams, this is your ranch. Like literally you're in his dreams. But, so this ranch has several different things. Like I love the aspect of it. So there's an owner's suite. So you all come up here with your family, but this is a working ranch. It's a cattle ranch. It is a ranch where people can come up and book and stay. Like this ranch has multiple streams of income.
That's right.
And so tell us a little bit about that and how people should try to set up. Now, I'm not saying we could all have a 50,000 acre ranch, like in our dreams. Like, again, this is, this is what everybody would want. You guys wait till you see this place. It's incredible, but you've earned it. But you set it up so that it's income producing. It's an appreciating asset. It's in a trust. Tell me if I'm saying too much, but so, I also have her checkbook here. If you guys want to see the balance in that, I went in and I pulled it out of her purse. Don't worry about it. But tell everybody how you set it up and why you set it up the way you did.
Well, it started by the fact that my husband, we've been married 42 years, and he always wanted a survival property. So we were actually out looking for 10 acres somewhere where he could set up his hut and his survival and play, shoot his guns and not get in trouble for it. So, but when we found this place, we fell in love with it because it was a piece of American and Arizona history, and it was a lot bigger than 10 acres. So we said, well, we have to walk the talk. I teach people about income producing assets. So we had this incredible piece of history and wanted to share it. So we put in a lodge where people could visit. And then people wanted to go on horseback riding. So we have horseback riding, and that's another stream of income. And we put in a shooting range so people can come shoot and do clays, and then the lake for fishing, so that we have the opportunity to make this an income producing asset. But we also got cows. So we have a Black Angus cattle that we 500. Run. Overnight, we became ranchers. And so people see our cows, I see assets, because those mama cows give me babies every year that turn into inventory that we sell at a year old. So it's always thinking about how can you create multiple streams of income from what you already have.
Okay, so this is, I didn't tell Sharon any of the questions I'm going to ask her, but you guys know I'm creating content. I'm up here with Sharon this week, and we're doing a lot of planning on some stuff we're doing in 2023. I'll be at Grant Cardone's real estate summit next week, like 4 days from now, right? Like I'm getting in everything I need to get in between now and the end of the year so that I can come out with a blast, not only for my team, for myself, but for my clients. And so what would you tell somebody out there? Like, what if somebody out there owns a single family investment property? How could they create several streams? Like, I know that you don't do that. You're into multifamily, you're into big investing, you're into ranches, but what would you recommend to somebody who has a rental house out there? Like, how can they turn that truly into an asset?
Well, you first think about where it's located. So I have a couple of friends who converted long-term rentals into Airbnbs because they're close to Old Town Scottsdale. And they went from making $800 a month to making $6,000 a month revenue. Because,
smart. Okay, so
you know,
tip number one,
yeah, it takes
location. Will it go for an Airbnb or short-term rental?
And understand that if you're going to do that, you have to make sure you do the it's a lot more work than long-term rental. You got to have, hopefully you find somebody that does the management for you and does the flipping, but it's amazing the additional stream that you have. But if you're not in the good area location, you may want to think twice about doing that. And it's very important. But again, small properties, a lot of people buy a property and then they rent out an extra room to someone. There's lots of things that you can do that help you limit your risk and then create income where otherwise it would have just been an expense.
Yeah, no, that's smart. Can you tell us, without giving tax advice, I know you're a CPA, but like what does depreciation look like? What are the benefits of a rental property and then being able to depreciate it?
Well, let me start with saying when you buy a piece of investment real estate property, you may put 20% down, sometimes 10%, sometimes 30%, but let's say you put 20% down. So you only invest 20% of the cost of the property, and the bank gives you the 80%. But you get 100% of the ownership. You own it, so you have 100% of the ownership. You get 100% of the appreciation, and you get 100% of the tax write-off, which includes depreciation. And that is the ultimate leverage. And that's how you can accelerate your wealth. And that's called good debt, that 80%. Because what happens, your tenant is paying you, let's say the tenant's paying you $2,000 in rent, and you're paying $1,000 for the mortgage, and the other expenses are $1,200. You're getting $800 profit every month. So your tenant is paying the debt. That's good debt.
Right. What is bad debt?
Bad debt is your credit cards used to buy the new shoes, new TV, something that is not going to be an income producing property for you.
Right. So you have spent how many years teaching financial literacy?
Well, probably 40 years.
Right. And where you really, really became famous is when you were the co-author, co-creator of The Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I say empire because it was an empire. And what you did during that. And how many books have you sold over your career?
Well,
because it keeps going up, and every time I say it, she's like, no, it's actually this many tens of millions.
Well, it's probably over 35 million books we've sold.
35 million books. No big deal. 35 million books.
Multiple languages, over 100 countries, over 50 languages.
But the common theme of your books is financial literacy.
Yeah, taking control of your financial life and realize that you're either in control of your money or your money is in control of you. There's really not much in between. And we're taught in school to get a job. And so we are taught to rely on someone else for our income. And that is very dangerous in today's world. Be in control of your own financial health. There's nothing wrong with being an employee. It's not what you do to make your money. It's not what you do for your paycheck. It's what you do with your paycheck that determines your financial future. And so with every dollar that you get, are you investing it in yourself? Are you turning it around and investing in investment property? Or are you letting it fall between your fingers?
Oh, it's so good. So let's just say somebody's watching this and they're just starting out and they're like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do something in 2023 that begins my financial legacy. And let's just say someone's got $5,000 or $10,000. What would you tell them to do with it? Because that isn't enough to get into the game, really.
Yeah, well, you're asking me to give specific financial advice, and I'm not going to do that. It depends on your personal situation. Number one, don't invest in something if that's money that you need to survive on. It's really important to understand your risk and reward. Make sure you have an emergency fund. And it used to be 3 months. Now I'm saying minimum 6 months of an emergency fund to help you. And some people say, well, their credit card balance, credit balance is their emergency fund. Well, that's somewhat not safe because
they can take that away from you in a minute.
They can take that away if the economy goes south. But when you're looking at starting to invest, make sure you educate yourself. That's the number one, because you may say, well, I want to get into real estate, and your brother-in-law or your next door neighbor is in real estate, and you put your money with them and you haven't done your homework. And sometimes you can really lose faith in friendships, lose faith in family when you are relying on them. But you have to look in the mirror. Did you rely on yourself? Look at the deal. Is this a good deal? Educate yourself. And then don't try and do one of everything. I have people that come to me and they've tried to do the 3-2 rentals, and then they invested in an apartment complex, and they wanted to invest in some industrial. Don't do that. Stick in one lane until you understand it and get good at it. And then you have the opportunity to start something else. But you really need to make sure that you're aware of what you're doing. A lot of people have lost a lot of money in crypto because they felt like they were going to get left out. So they jumped in. And a lot of them put in money that they couldn't afford to lose, and it's gone. And so you really need to take responsibility to educate yourself in whatever decisions you're making.
No, that's great advice. Do you have any predictions for 2023? What is your prediction on the economy in 2023?
Well, I don't think 2023 is going to be smooth sailing, but anytime there's a problem, it creates opportunities. So when we see a lack of confidence and the interest rates going up, and you see the real estate market that was just soaring all of a sudden start getting a little edgy, that creates opportunity. There's a lot of mortgages that are going to end up going into foreclosure this year.
14% right now are in default with FHA.
Yeah,
nationally.
And so that's opportunity. And it's not so much that you're taking advantage of somebody. Maybe you're going to save them.
I was going to say, you're going to help them out.
You're going to save them. You're going to help them not lose their credit score completely.
Well, and then let me just, I don't to interrupt you, but I just want to interject this here. There's going to be a lot of mortgages that people are behind and they can't. But the best part, I don't know the best part of that story, but the part to that story is that there's more equity today in homes than there's ever been. So just because someone's got to sell and get out doesn't mean they're going to lose their shirt. That might actually be what saves their shirt, that they're able to actually pull the money out of their house and do something different. So I think as in the real estate industry, we need to be asking questions, and so many realtors follow me, Sharon, that they follow you too. And, and so I think it's everybody we're talking to, hey, do you know anybody that potentially is, that needs to get rid of their house, needs to pull out their equity? Because today, right now in 2022, there's more equity in U.S. homes than there's ever been, which is why there will not be a meltdown of the real estate market, a crash like in 08 and 09, because in 08 and 09, we had a mortgage crisis also, right? People were behind. They'd put 100% down, the value, blah, blah, blah. We now have equity, but that doesn't mean that there aren't some people that need to get out and pull their equity, sell, and do something different.
And on the other side of that, on the more general economy for real estate, a lot of, Mike and I are invested in quite a few large developments that are future cities. And we had several large parcels that were in basically in escrow with large home builders, and 3 of the 4 fell out, which they'd already paid for a lot of the improvements, so that's a benefit to us. But it's not a benefit that we didn't get those properties closed yet, so it's going to be a longer term investment. But that tells me, what does that tell me? Well, yeah, I'm not going to get cashed out as soon as I would have hoped, but that's okay, because this is not money I need to eat. But it tells me that all those homes that were going to come on the market aren't yet, which is going to compress the market, push the prices up, and more people are going to need, because we still have tons more people moving into Arizona than are moving out. So the population is going up. So we need the housing need, supply and demand. The supply is now being stifled, but the demand is still growing. And so those are the types of things you want to pay attention to.
Right. No, it's absolutely, guys and gals, we're coming to you live from Cherry Creek Lodge, which is one of Sharon and Michael's assets. It's an income producing ranch, but because they've set it up correctly, they're able to enjoy it themselves and invite their friends up here. And, and that's just, Sharon and I and another gal and a couple other people, we're going to be doing some events in Texas and Arizona in 2023 to help you become better investors, to help you understand every piece to building your assets, to building, in the words of our friend Elena Cardone, building your empire, right? And I talk to so many people and they're like, I think it's too late. I messed up. I didn't do it in 2021. I should have done it in 2020. And then they get discouraged. I'm like, today's the day. Like, if you didn't do it yesterday, do it today. Start something simple. But I agree. You got to start setting up. You got to have 6 months of cash. Like, that's the first thing you need to do is put back 6 months of cash. Like, before you invest in anything. Don't you agree with that? Like,
yeah, the saying, there are 2 times the best time to invest: 20 years ago and
now.
today.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And so, and so that's the first thing you're going to do. And then next thing you're going to do is align yourself with financial people that aren't necessarily just trying to sell you something, but that are going to give you, good advice. And, and I mean, I'm a real estate agent. I don't apologize for that. But I do pride myself on not just giving my opinion, but going to the experts. They happen to be on my team and my friends and my colleagues. I'm very lucky, but I've also built that. I mean, I look at, what I've created in business, and I've built this alliance of people that I trust and that I go to for advice, and that I say, what do you think, and whatever. And I want to tell every one of you, whoever's going to watch this now or on the replay, I want to really encourage you in the next, as soon as possible, build that alliance of people that you trust, right? Not just people that are opportunists, not people that just want to sell you something, but people that have been there or done that. Like, I saw a quote the other day: don't ever take real estate advice from someone who doesn't own real estate. But it's so true. Like, why would I take advice from anybody at this point in my career or my life from people that haven't done more than I've done? Like, seriously. That's why when I have something that hits the what I need advice, I call Sharon Lechter. Why? Because she's done more than I've done. Right? She has amassed more wealth than I've amassed, whatever. And that's okay. That's nothing to be ashamed of. That's amazing. Right? So, but I certainly would not go talk to somebody or ask the advice of somebody that hasn't done at least what I've done. Right? And so I want to be I'm really passionate about that, because, Sharon, I see stuff all the time out there. People that are self-proclaimed
there's a ton
gurus.
of people online that are selling things, and they're calling themselves
a
the
coach.
#1 salesperson in the world. It's like, by whose measure? And it's crazy. But you talk about alliance. Everything I teach is about the power of association.
Mm-hmm.
And we're taught in school to do everything by ourselves, and that's not what success comes from. Surrounding yourself with the right people who are strong where you are weak, people who have been where you want to go. That's the power of having a mentor.
But say that again: people that have been where you want to go. And I know people that are watching this now, because we just popped on randomly on a Saturday, but this thing will get hundreds and thousands of views after I tag you and all of that. And they're like, okay, why am I listening to this? You're listening to this because if you didn't hear anything else we said today, it's align yourself with people who
have been where you want to go.
Yeah, who have been where you want to go. And if they have not been where you want to go, don't pay them. Do not hire them. Do not listen to them. Really, like, I'm so passionate about that.
There's a difference between coaches and mentors, and they're both important. A coach is there to keep you accountable to a predetermined path. They don't necessarily have to have been hugely successful in your field. They might be really good at keeping people accountable, and that's great. You need a coach. I'm not a good coach. I'm a good mentor. I'm not going to hold people's feet to the fire. I expect you to stand up for yourself and do what you need, but I'm there to support and guide you and introduce you to people and basically steer you around pitfalls. I love the mentoring that I do, but there is a difference between mentoring and coaching.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's a good point. I feel like with my real estate team, I'm a coach, like, because so many times I have to tell them, okay, here's the next step. Here's what you do. Here's what works. Here's what doesn't work. But in life, I think I'm a better mentor. I don't know. I'm bossy though. And I'm very opinionated. And I'm not going to tell y'all what I did yesterday, but 2 times this one let me walk into it. Into an absolute, like, because you guys know me. I'm going to say what I think, why I think it. I really don't care who I'm standing in front of, what room I'm in. She just watched me do it twice yesterday. And after I realized I had done it, I'm like, wait a minute. So it's kind of an inside joke. Look, Hatsu's on here. He says, the power of association. And Maria O'Malley And
Yes.
Sherry Matthews.
Oh my
and
gosh.
Chelsea. Yes. And somebody said hi, but you must,
Powerhouse.
yeah, you must be coming in on one of our feeds. Sharon, I need to show you a text I got from Sherry the other day because she bought some new things that we would like, but I won't say it online. Okay, who wants me to turn around and show you the back of this ranch? Show you Lake Sharon. Hold on. How about that, y'all? Isn't that amazing?
On the windmill.
All right, and so then here we go. And then here is, remember we talked about the assets, the horses and the cows? See the windmill? That's where all the horses are. If you guys are looking for an amazing place to take your family, look at this. This is insane, y'all. It's 50,000 acres in northern Arizona. But if you're looking for an amazing place to take your family, to just get away, get off the grid. Hold on, let me get back here. So I want you to see these mountains. There you go. Cherry Creek Lodge. Check it out.
CherryCreekLodge.com.
And it's just cherrycreeklodge.com. I've probably been up here, I don't know, half a dozen, 8, 10 times. It never gets old. It's so incredible. All right, so Sharon, we're going to sign off here pretty quick.
You want to go inside?
Oh, okay. You know what, y'all? I'm going to take you inside.
See our Christmas decorations.
I want you to see the Christmas decorations here at Cherry Creek Lodge. Let's see here. All right. Tell everybody we're live so they behave.
Gotta squeeze through.
Okay, y'all, look at this.
Look at what?
Not you. Look at me. Look at me being sassy to Michael Lechter. Look at this. This is the inside of this lodge. And a lot of these animals, Michael hunted in Africa. I don't even know if hunted is the right word. Bagged. Says the commish. Pretty amazing. All right, y'all, share this out. Sharon absolutely dropped some huge nuggets. And today is the day to take these off. Today's the day to get started, my sunglasses, on 2022 and or 2023. And I'll see you again soon. Bye, everybody. Thanks for tuning in today. Share it out.